Today's meme of the day is...
You are surrounded.
There's two of them!
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the latest episode of Lads Discuss Death Battle. Coming in with the choir is your only mate.
Guys, this is not a drill.
And coming in...
Wait. I said it too early.
I like there was a long pause, and as soon as I was about to introduce Sean, you were like, okay, now I'll say the punchline. And yeah, ripping and tearing is Sean.
Hooray, we got something Microsoft was too scared to do.
Yeah, indeed, and to be honest, it probably came out much better than whatever Level 1 was probably planning. But yes, people, we're here to talk about the latest episode, the rematch between the Master Chief and Doomguy, also known as Doomslayer now, canonically. Because Doomguy was actually kind of the name he was given by developers, because there was no actual name for him. So, to talk, before we get to that though, so to talk about the latest episode, we'll go into some of our comments. This is from Reese, who still has his picture of Dan Mojito being dragged away, which is still a funny image. As someone who's been curious about the matchup since it was revealed on Kickstarter, this episode blew away my expectations from beginning to end. If it wasn't for Bowser vs Eggman being peak as it probably would have been my favourite episode of all time, but it does end up in the second though. Also, thank you Bill for now showing me that face when Mojito gets picked out, because now I can never unsee that. But either way, great discussion as always. Yeah, honestly, it was like... Usually after I finish a death battle, I'll go back and rewatch and see there's all Easter eggs. And I was just seeing like, I don't know, there was like something in the background while Mojito was running away. And I just saw that face and I was like, was that done deliberately to see if like... Because there are people like that will slow down videos and stuff like that. I wonder if they purposely made that face look so derpy just for those people. But yeah.
Now Reese will make sure no one doesn't see it, for it's his profile pic. For now, at least.
Now.
Yeah, so Reese, remember that deal we made? Like, if there's a death battle that you really want to get involved on, hit us up. You committed to the bit. And speaking of bits...
Just be sure to tell us which one you really, really want.
Yeah. From Lee Family... this is to do with our matchup, our preview, our prediction for Master Chief vs Doomguy. This match is one-sided, but Master Chief will give Doomslayer a hell of a fight. Also, the Halo TV show is okay. You guys are just mean better than that Like a Dragon Yakuza show. Never actually seen that show. I remember being advertised a lot.
Here's my argument for that. It got nominated for an award, unlike the Halo show.
Yeah. Look, mate. Oh, sorry, mate. Go ahead.
I'm also paused on something which, the fact that he was defending the Halo show. I'll go into it when we talk about the episode.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, like, look, I'll say my piece. I was excited when this show was in development. After watching it, I can safely say, as a Halo fan, it's pretty bad. But even if you were to, you know, say I was never familiar with Halo, this was my first introduction to it. Objectively, the show is poorly written, the characters unlikable, and even the people behind the show have confessed they couldn't be bothered to play the games or nor care for the original lore of the series. I'm like, if we can criticize movie directors for being like that, we can also criticize TV show directors. Like, I mean, hell, the show was so bad, it got cancelled after its second season. Netflix got a partnership to hopefully gain it more views, and it didn't even end up in the top 10 most viewed the first month it was out. I think it's safe to say what people think of the Halo show. Like, look, if you like the show, good on you. I'm not here to ruin what you like. But don't be surprised if you are in the minority when it comes to this sort of show.
And hey, at least maybe we won't have a video game movie adaptation where the director doesn't play the game. Perish the thought.
Hey, look, here's some exclusive footage of the Halo show.
It'll still be better than the other video game movie that came out recently, just in terms of audience.
But just in the film alone, the film's pretty good. But moving on, this is from Yang the Insane regarding our third topic. I think mostly Rooster Teeth got too ambitious becoming a big web business. A lot of people and different content creators and small dramas just added fuel to the fire, which inevitably shut them down. To some extent, I agree with that. I think when it comes to... I think especially during the early days of YouTube, because Rooster Teeth was really getting big. I want to say around, like, 2014, like, 2012 was, like, when they were really hitting, like, the big numbers in terms of subscribers. Of course, you know, nostalgic fans also helped with that as well. I do agree, though, yeah, because they got maybe because they did have a lot of people to manage, and you know that whole saying, you know, one rotten apple can ruin, like, a basket. It's like, I guess you could look at that, because I know there was some drama with Funhouse, and they had to fire a lot of people. I'm not sure if there's been any dramas with Achievement Hunter. Screw Attack, I mean, my god.
There was. Dave.
Okay. Screw Attack, poof, yeah, after learning a lot of things about Stuttering Craig, yeah, there was a lot of drama behind the scenes for that. And, yeah, it's if you know all the stories between, like, the higher management, aside Burning Burns at Rooster Teeth, yeah, those being exposed didn't help their, like, subscriber counts. Like, it is unfortunate, because Rooster Teeth was, like, I mean, it's good they're making a comeback, and hopefully they can maybe not get too ambitious, you know, even though they still have the same subscriber numbers before they shut down, they have got to build up their new audience games. They don't have their IPs anymore, aside Red vs. Blue.
They also have Camp Camp.
Yeah, and that was pretty popular as well. I never really got into it, but I saw the appeal of it. But,
yeah. I'm just gonna say, in terms of, like, overly ambitious stuff, I'd just say blame Grey Haddock. If anything, he kickstarted it.
Now this comment...
The show sucked.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. Now this final comment technically comes from our Discord server. And this actually comes from Violet, aka Purple. And apparently we called Shigaraki versus Mahito mid. Yeah, we spent an entire hour praising how good the episode was, nitpicking a few critiques, so we called it mid, apparently. Like, okay, now Purple, I'm not just calling you out on this, I also want to call out, just, similar to woke and cringe, has mid just lost its meaning? Because, you know, I'm nearly a...
Mid had a meaning to begin with.
Like, okay, listen, I'm nearly a 30-year-old man. You know, I'm not hip with the linguos of the current generation. I'm a Gen B, not a Gen Z. But, like, when I hear the term mid, I think of something that's just okay, or it's not bad. You know, that to me means mid. Like, you know, like, trying to think of, like, a death battle at the top of my head I'd consider mid. Like, you know, I make fun of Rogue vs. Wonder Woman a lot, but if I really had to be so harsh on it, I would say the episode's mid at best. Like, for the time, it was an alright episode. Animation's alright. But, you know, I do the whole, they butchered my girl sort of joke. But, you know, if ignoring that sort of bias side, the episode's just okay. Like, to me, that's mid. Like, you know, it's still, I got some enjoyment, but it's, you know, it's whatever. However, Mahito vs. Shigaraki, that was an episode with two characters I give zero f***s about. And I consider it like a decent, like, 7 to 8 out of 10. It was a good episode. Editing was great. Analysis was not my favourite, but again, it's following characters I'm not really that into, so why would I care? But the fight and the music just... like, yeah, like, it was great. And the analysis was, like, the end result I agreed with, and it made sense. Like, it's a great episode. Does that mean mid now? Like, does saying an episode's great mean mid? But yeah,
According to some, probably.
Yeah, I just thought I'd kind of call that out. Like, you know, jokes aside, like, look, we don't think the episode's mid, in case people are that worried. Like, it's a great episode. And speaking of episodes beyond great, let's talk about Master Chief versus the Doomslayer. So, you've probably seen this, I'm not going to call out the person, but I bet you guys have had someone in your comments constantly say, like, the same Virgin Chad memes in your comments.
Oh, I ignore those.
Yeah. Now, I had to say, yeah, if I really had to say, in terms of rematches episodes I've seen, yeah, this one takes the cake as being not only just so far the best episode this season, or this year, not how they do their seasons
Well,
now.
it's either
And
it's
it is,
between this,
interesting.
Link versus Cloud, or Goku versus Superman.
honestly, I would say this is perhaps the best rematch episode ever. Like, you know, I love Goku vs Superman rematch, the third one, I should say. And Link vs Cloud
No,
remake.
specifically the third one.
Yeah, and Cloud versus, you know, Link rematch was decent. Like, you know, I remember talking about it in the past. I thought, yeah, it was good. I haven't watched it in a while now, so, you know, maybe when upon rewatching it, I might like it. But as of now, in terms of rematches, yeah, this episode is amazing. Like, first of all, the analysis. The issues we had with Shigaraki versus Mihito being, the analysis wasn't really that funny, or, you know, there weren't really many jokes that landed with us. No, this episode had some pretty good banger jokes. and even
I actually alluded to this earlier with that comment that we got about the Halo show. In Master Chief's background, dislikes Paramount Plus.
yeah, I saw that. Oh my god.
He's not wrong.
I mean, hell, his actual live action actor even said he was disappointed the show never followed the games.
Oh, so there you go, it's canon. Chief hated it.
Yeah, like, if the actor behind the guy who played Master Chief has to be like, yeah, I wasn't really too keen on how they represent the character, maybe you should kind of, you know, more people and people behind shows should listen to a lot of actors playing as characters. Like, yeah, you do get actors that don't bother researching or, you know, looking up things about their characters. Oh, hi, Netflix Iron Fist. Oh, sorry, Disney Plus Iron Fist now. It's confusing.
I was gonna say,
But
why can't they do what Netflix did with the Witcher series and be like, it's based off both the games and the books?
yeah,
Could have done that.
and hell, the people behind the main characters actually, you know, played the games and read the lore. Like even the person who's doing the God of War TV show, he's admitted, like, couldn't actually get into the games, but I have looked up things about the game. Like, okay, there are people willing who maybe can't get into the games, but is willing to look into the series. That's good.
And in a similar vein, I want to say shout out to Keanu Reeves, because when he wanted to play Shadow, he actually like did research into his character.
Yeah, and you know, just talking about the jokes and stuff like that, I also just love the editing of this episode. Like I don't know, there's a small little edit style I like how they pan the next image into frame, even though, like, I don't know how to describe it. You know, like when it's about to switch to the next frame, it's like they meld away to go into the next scene, like almost kind of like cinematic, like how the Star Wars films transition to the next scene. Like, I just love how they do it. Like, for example, they're showing Master Chief, like, being injected with all those, like, totally not harmful sort of medicines, but then it, like, it's static away to, like, the comment panel explaining, like, what the suit does to them. And then it also shows, like, a scene, because they showed a scene from the trailer when Master Chief's getting his thing implanted into him, but then it cuts to, like, a cutscene from, like, an animated film, like, very fluidly, like, you blink and you'll miss it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's something like many people bring up when it comes to the editing style, because I absolutely love the style that they go for. Like, you know, they don't just like pan away and just put in the next scene. Like, it's like the scenes like meld into the next scene. Like, I'm a sucker for those type of edits.
And even with the little comic panels for Halo, they actually did some really cool stuff for that.
By the way, I have the episode playing in the background, and when they talk about, like, Chief's nervous system being shocked, in the background is Marv getting electrocuted in Home Alone 2.
Oh, God.
Like, the best edit was just what happened when Chief flipped the freaking elephant.
I love that freaking edit. It's so funny.
If people wanted to know what happened to Steve, that's what happened. The end.
One day Steve will be back.
That's admittedly something I never thought about when looking into how strong a Spartan is. Because, yeah, you can flip it.
Yeah, and to be honest, I never even realized the developers had that little Easter egg where the game's even like, how did you do that? Like, to be fair, whenever I played a multiplayer in Halo 3, I never thought to myself, let's try and flip this thing over. Most of the time I'm thinking, I want to get on the minigun and rip it off and start firing at everyone.
I think one time I just got curious, went into a custom game with my friends, and we were just like, alright, I'm gonna try and see if we can flip this. We did it, by the way.
I mean, yeah. And to be fair, it is canon, because Master Chief in the novels has done something similar to that. Like, he hasn't flipped the elephant vehicle over, but he's flipped something equivalent to it. I mean, hell, if he's able to punch a banshee to the point it's flying into the horizon, like, yeah, he should definitely be able to lift an elephant. I mean, look how effortlessly he, like, flips tanks over, like, yeah, you could argue video game physics are kind of making it look a bit floaty, but it's like, if you can just casually flip a tank over that it's still in the air for a few seconds, like, yeah, you gotta kind of take that into consideration.
It got me to chuckle a little bit, but anyone horny for Alexa when talking about Cortana? Yes, the whole internet boomstick.
That is way too accurate.
Yeah.
It's even funnier because I'm not trying to sound perverted about this. Each new game that Cortana was in, aside Infinite and 5, do you know she was getting bustier and bustier? Well, I don't know what it was, and given the fact
that doesn't surprise me.
Given her creator is a woman, that just makes it kind of even more questionable. So, Halsey, we're going to add this new update to Cortana. Why do you want her to be a C cup now? I just didn't like D cup. It's like, right, but I'm just saying, like, you know, she's meant to be a weapon of mass destruction.
D is bigger than C. In case you didn't know.
Is it? I thought it went like alphabetical, like, you know, C was bigger and then D was like lower.
No.
No,
It's reverse
doesn't work
alphabet.
like that.
Ah. Well, I guess that goes to show I'm not really.
I worked in I know because I worked in a clothing store.
yeah, sure. That's how you know. Like, hey, at least you can. We can confirm.
I worked at fucking Goodwill.
Yeah, sure it is. Sure it is, Sean. Well, at least I can prove I am somewhat of an innocent brain, because I thought it was like typical alphabetical order, but I was wrong. But yeah, like I just found that funny, and trying to think what else was in like the Halo bit that I did like. But to be honest, we've already talked about a lot about the analysis itself. In terms of how the character was represented, because Sean did like a reaction to the rematch or the original, and while they were explaining how cool a lot of Master Chief's weapons were, in terms of personality, they kind of just treated him as like a generic action hero. I did like how they represented Master Chief's character in this, that, you know, he is a badass super soldier, but as it was getting closer and closer to the end of his analysis, you noticed there was a bit more to him, like, you know, him questioning whether he was a man or a machine, you know, and that's the thing in Halo 4, which people apparently hated that when Master Chief started showing a bit of vulnerability, and it's just like, maybe, it's like, did you guys never read the novels? Like, the first novel that came out with the first Halo game, Master Chief was in a vulnerable state a lot of the time. He was questioning, like, you know, if he was doing the right thing, if they could even win the war, and big shocker, given the fact the book is called The Fall of Reach. Spoiler alerts, you know, he didn't exactly succeed in saving Reach.
Are you telling me the fans were mad the main character had a character?
I know, right? Like, look, I like a good old, I like to chew ass and eat bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. But, you know, I also kind of like characters who can show their vulnerability. Like, you know, we like Deadpool being the comedic sort of goofball. We also kind of like it when we could see him in a vulnerable state, showing that, you know what, he's not just a laughable douchebag. And I actually like how they handle Chief's character, because, yeah, Chief is just more than a guy that says cool quips. Don't get me wrong, I do like the fact they included a lot of, like... Well, they didn't show the clips. Well, they showed the clips, but they didn't play the voice lines. It was cool that they showed the moments, because if you're a Halo fan, you just saw the scene playing on screen, you immediately knew what they wanted to play. Like, yeah, they actually showed Chief is a bit more than just a badass character with a gun. He's actually, you know, he's vulnerable, and, you know, there's times he's questioned, you know, his life. And heck, even the tragic, because I didn't even notice, I didn't realize he forgot about who his parents were. Like, I just assumed, like, how the hell do you go back home and say, hey, you know when you thought I was dead for 30 years? Funny story, Dad. You know, I just assumed.
I don't think he ever like reunites with anybody, but I know there was this audio series called Hunt the Truth, where this guy was like looking into Master Chief and uncovering like all the messed up stuff that the UNSC and Oni did. I think he has an interview with a childhood friend of Chief, like the... I can't remember if it's supposed to be like... Well, anyway. And tells her that John is the Master Chief. Merely her reaction isn't like... I don't know, it doesn't capture like what I would expect looking back on it, you know?
Yeah, it was one of those like out of character, like you wouldn't expect the character to be like that.
Yeah, because her reaction was kind of like, oh my god, no way. And I'm just like, really? That's your reaction to your childhood friend who you thought was dead?
I bet maybe the audio book probably just didn't do it justice.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, because there's been times I've listened to an audiobook of like stories and the characters just do not do it justice. Like, have you guys ever read the novel or even seen videos about Star Wars Death Troopers?
No.
It's a horror series about stormtroopers that became like zombies. It's a really cool book. I highly recommend it for people who haven't read it. When I read it, you know, I'm giving the characters, you know, when characters being torn apart and stuff like that. By the way, yeah, this book's rated PG. Yeah, you know, I imagine it sounded horrifying. A lot of the audiobooks readers I've listened to sound like a 30-year-old man trying to sound like a child and a woman a lot of the time, and it just did not capture the feeling I had reading that scene. Always read the books yourself, people, before listening to audiobooks. But, yeah, although, you know, going away from Master Chief, I thought they nailed this character. In terms of Doomslayer, though, yeah, once again, they also nailed this character, but as well as, the editing for this as well. And I'm not sure if both analysis were done by the same guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Because I noticed the style for Doom's one, like Doomslayer's analysis, was still good, I should say, but it was much more like sporadic and like crazy. But given the character that Doomslayer is, it's like, okay, I think that's probably an intentional, because Master Chief's one was kind of more like, you know, scenes melding into one another and stuff like that, as well as showing like there's like staticky stuff, whereas Doomslayer's analysis is very heavy metal, fast paced stuff like that. But thinking about the games, it's like, oh yeah, that actually makes sense.
Think of it like this. They basically edited the analysis like the gameplay. Like Halo goes to like the cinematic story and everything, and Doom is a fast paced, kick their asses type of deal.
Yeah, I love it. And also, I just got to that moment when they showed the boomstick plushie, and I also do love that little boomstick plushie.
Although, one thing I will say is, like, oh yeah, usews.com. Not sponsored. Yet.
Not yet, Death Battle, we're available. Not in that way.
But, like, I don't know if it's just a me thing, but it felt like Doomslayer's analysis, like, went on a lot longer than Chief's.
I mean, I never timed them, so I mean, having it play in the background, so I'll kind of see it with the times.
I didn't really mind it because genuinely, Doomslayer has probably my favorite analysis since New Death Battle, oddly enough.
Also, similar to the Halo TV show, the fact they had to reference that shit live-action film with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Wait, did Dwayne play the Doomslayer?
No, he just played as the villain, who was a marine that became a demon. In fact, spoilers, Doomslayer's not actually in the movie.
What the actual... were they smoking?
Like, okay, like, the concept sounds interesting, you know, following the...
very old wacky-backy.
Like, you know, like, the concept's kind of interesting. You follow the Marines, like, you know, like, when you see a story with Doomslayer in it, you know he's gonna survive. But following a movie following the Marines as Hell's Unleashed sounds kind of interesting. Like, yeah, these guys aren't super crazy, pumped up, steroid, like, badasses like Doomslayer, so... Hey, what would this look like for a human's perspective? They don't even end up shooting any demons until literally the last 20 minutes. Don't watch this film.
In the like section, they acknowledge the joke.
I mean, they had to. They had to. Also, I just loved how scary they made Doomslayer sound, because, you know, similar to Master Chief in the first game, he just kind of sounded like, you know, a generic NPC. Well, not an NPC, she plays him. But Doomslayer never really had a personality. Yeah, there was some comic books that came out for it. Honestly, those comic books are just they're just fine. They're not really... Like, I don't know, it felt like they had... a lot of video games always had some either comic book or novel tie-in to them. Like that. I don't know why. There was like some written rule somewhere. And they were just like, oh yeah, we should probably explain why the main character's here. Because if you were to play the original, at least the original 2 Doom games, yeah, you literally start the game and you're just there. Even the manuals never really explain too much. It just says, hell's open up and you gotta fight them off. It's like... Hence why Doomslayer never had a name originally. They were just like, oh yeah, he's just Doom guy. Like, you know, it was a joke, but then they decided, let's actually give a bit of lore to this character. And boy, did they extend his lore in the remakes / sequels.
I timed the analyses, by the way.
Cool, cool, cool.
So Chief's was about 6 minutes, and Doomslayer's was about 8 minutes.
Okay,
I mean, it makes sense for Slayers to be longer, though. Considering how much news stuff came out after their original fight, it was a lot more compared to the new stuff Chief got.
Also, that does admittedly include the U2's plugin just in the middle of his analysis.
I guess we'll kind of count that as being like, you know, free advertisement. I mean, there's been times like some announcers can go on a bit longer than like other characters, but you know, it doesn't really change anything as long as it's like really well made and stuff. Who cares?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I felt it was noticeable, like, when I was doing my reaction.
Yeah, fair enough.
I was like, feels like his analysis is going on a little long, and then it ended.
Oh, do you know something I also should have brought up as well? Like, I'm not sure if I did bring it up, because again, we recorded these predictions a while ago. Canonically, because this was even... I remember this being like a big theory back when Doom and Wolfenstein were a thing. Yeah, Doomslayer is the great-grandson of the main character of the Wolfenstein series. A man that, you know, Doomslayer likes to rip and tear demons. Wolfenstein's main character loved to rip and tear Nazis. Mate, we need you more than ever.
That blew my mind hearing it.
Who then become demons, who get ripped and teared by his grandson.
But... honestly, like, I remember that being like a joke, like, because, you know, they were made by the same developers, they used the same engine, I kid you not, they used the same icon for the characters. So it was kind of one of those, like, you know, early games and stuff like that. Like, Doom and Wolfenstein were part of, like, the early sort of gaming franchise era. So, but then, the developers one day just confirmed, like, oh, no, this is in fact canon. Yeah, Doomslayer is, like, Wolfenstein and Doom are set in the same universe, people. Like, that's canon. And I've actually played the newer Wolfenstein games, and you know what? I'm really disappointed I've not played them for so long, because, oh my god, the ability to freaking dual-wield automatic shotguns and just rip and tear Nazis to pieces. Someone had fun making this game. That's all I'll say.
The only new Wolfenstein game I didn't like was New Blood, but that's because I had an AI partner, and the AI partner sucks.
I did hear that game kind of killed the Wolfenstein franchise. But I just loved as well, like, again, similar to Master Chief, they did treat Doomslayer with a bit more to his character, showing that, oh, you know what, deep down, like, he cared about humanity and stuff like that. He had a cute pet rabbit. It's like I think we made this joke last time. He was the original John Wick. These demons killed his pet rabbit. Probably one of the few innocent things in the universe to him, and the demons just killed it. I really want to see a parody of, like, a demon, like, holding the head of a rabbit, and the demon's like, where the f*** you get that rabbit? He's like, I don't know, I just saw some Marine playing with it. He just grabs his shoulders, where did you get that rabbit? Suddenly they just hear in the distance ripping, like, the Doomslayer theme playing.
That's no ordinary man, you idiot. That is what we call Doomslayer.
Just like that, it's like the opener to that John Wick when the main villain's talking to his son. He's like, it was just a nobody playing rabbit. That f***ing nobody was Doomslayer. I once saw him kill an imp with a pencil, and then he killed the man who made the pencil with a pencil.
And that's not even getting into Boomstick praising him like a god.
Well, to be fair, yeah, canonically in the new...
Like, borderline starting his own religion about him.
Well, that actually did happen in the the games, actually, the remakes, yeah. Doomslayer was kind of worshipped as a god because, I mean, he was one of the few humans that could stand up to hell. To the point demons are writing horror stories to their children. Like, I would say that's demons reading horror stories to their children. I'm like, oh yeah, grim fairy tales. We kind of did that years ago, didn't we? But it was also, I just love the editing style. Like, again, I've already said in the past, but the fact, like, how fast-paced it is, but it doesn't feel jarring, because there's been times they've had, like, you know, fast-paced editing. It was just jarring to having to pay attention to everything. This one never felt like it. Like, you know, it felt, like, natural with it. I guess, you know, because I'm so used to the Doom games, I'm used to that sort of style. Like, for instance, I just got to the bit when he's grabbing his armor in the original reboot, you know, there would be this, like, crazy demonic symbols appearing on screen when you touched your armor as it fades into, like, the next scene. But the fact that he blended that into the editing style, showing off the armor and, like, what the armor is, like, honestly, chef's kiss. Like, top tier editing.
Yeah, I think Max did phenomenal with this. I also like how for some of the font, he literally he made the words out of the Doom font.
Yeah, I really respect, not developers, like people who go to that much detail.
Yeah, there was just a lot that really was enjoyable with Doomslayer's analysis. One of the most adorable things with Doomslayer, which is when he fist bumped his own mini and did the Baymax thing.
I love that. When I first found that little Easter egg in the game, when he just fist bumps and does that, it's so cute. Like, do you know what? Doomslayer and Dante would be like the best of bros. Like, I can actually picture Doomslayer actually chilling with Dante and like having pizza with him, as well as like getting involved in like Dance Revolution.
And a bunch of demons show up, and Dante would just be like, "Bet you can't kill more than me, Doomslayer. Load shotgun."
I just love to for a moment like they switch weapons. Like Dante grabs the shotgun, and Doomslayer quickly grabs Dante's sword. But yeah, in terms of
no crucible, but it'll do.
It's like, you know, in terms of like analysis, you know what, these two were treated with respect, because people were worried like, you know, they were gonna just make jokes about Master Chief, like, oh, you know, he's not as strong as Doomslayer, like, you know, what's the point of this match? I was like, no, there's some respect for both of these characters, like, you know, Master Chief and Doomslayer are both respectful in their own right, regarding like both their universes and their powers.
Does anyone think that the bull on the steamroller powered by Dragon Ball image is cursed? No, just me.
I love that edit. That edit killed me.
Choo-choo. You're dead.
Overall, I thought the analysis was top tier. I have no complaints at all about it. Like, if I really, like, literally a pinchy nitpick, I have to say, not enough blood? I don't know, like really, I legit have no complaints really about the analysis. Like, you know, most of the episodes this year, like even really good ones, I've had like a little nitpick or something like that. This one's one of those cases where it's like, I was laughing through most of it, it gave me good information, it respected both the characters. What more do you need? Like, you know, compared to like most Doomslayer versus Master Chief analysis, even like those short video ones I've seen a lot on like YouTube Shorts and TikTok. No, this one actually felt as though it was paying respect to both characters, not just one.
I also like the ending of Slayer's analysis. Them just talking about, you know, why did Satan take the form of Doom Guy? Welcome back, mate, by the way.
Hey, mate.
Yeah, so I might chime in and out here. So you guys talking about how well this episode did Doomslayer analysis wise?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got this comment on my reaction and I was a bit confused by it. Claiming that they did Doomguy dirty again.
How? Like, they literally explain how much of a badass he is, and just how much of a deeper character he is. Like, is he as deep as Master Chief? No. Like, he is still, you know, the big old, like, muscular, badass Arnold Schwarzenegger type of character. But, you know, it's more so like, you know, he can be playful, he's, you know, very kind to humans and as well as little animals. So, like, where was the done dirty part? Like,
Yeah, not to mention, Boomstick was praising him like he was his personal Jesus.
Exactly, like, it's like similar to what I was just saying, Sean. Like, I really can't find it. Like, if I had to find a nitpick, there's not enough blood. But then it's like, that's honestly, I guess that's a really specific nitpick. But I guess this person just had to find something to complain about. Like, oh no, they did him dirty. How? None your business.
The only way it could have been bloodier, Bill, is if Dark Ages came out, but it's not out yet at time of recording. It's coming out soon, but not yet.
It is coming out soon. Yeah, I guess because I've been really eager to wanting to talk about the fight now, shall we get to the main attraction, the fight?
Oh boy, it's time for Devil Artemis to wow us again, and he did. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. A quick joke I want to make before praising this episode. How many Master Chief poses do you want in this fight? Devil Artemis, all of them.
Yeah, this was the trio of Devil Artemis, David, you know, the guy who does the Rex skits we brought up, funny enough, in the last third topic. And look, he came back! Oh, what have I done?
Lads curse, question mark? Okay, but yeah, like...
I think it is.
I want to kick this off by saying, of all of Devil Artemis' fights in the Independent era, this one is my favorite.
But yes, Bill, to answer your question, yeah, I'm pretty sure I said we haven't seen David since season 10, and now he's back. Yes, it is Lab Curse.
I guess so, and... Okay, first of all...
Luis also worked on this fight.
The voice acting for this, like... The fact they even got a voice actor for Doomslayer, even though all he does is grunts. But if I had to praise the grunts, my god, he nailed this bulky, angry man.
Now, would you believe me if I told you that was the same VA that Shao Kahn had?
Honestly, I could believe that. Because, yeah, this man does sound like a hulking giant.
This was Gianni, Lex Luthor, and Shao Kahn.
And you know what? He had fun doing these grunts. Like, imagine being paid to just voice a character and all you have to go is like and even the voice actor for Katana Master Chief, again, similar to Mahito vs Shigaraki, I legit was believing like they definitely got like Steve Bloom or someone. No, not Steve Bloom. Who was the name of the voice actor for Master Chief in the games? It was Steve something. You guys know who I'm talking about though. But
I know who you're talking about. But voicing Master Chief in this was Philip Sacramento. He's been on as Lich King and Aizen, oddly enough, to name a couple.
Yeah, like even Cortana's actress, like, cause
okay, go ahead. Master Chief's official VA is Steve Downs.
Steve Downs, that was it. I'm glad you got that name down.
And voicing Cortana was Kira Buckland, or Raven, as Bill probably last heard her as.
Yeah, like, seriously, she sounded so similar to the actress. Like, fun fact, actually, the voice actress for Cortana in the games also voices Zoe from Left 4 Dead. I'm not even kidding, look that up.
Also, Salem in Ruby, and at one point, Princess Peach.
Wait, really? Princess Peach?
Yep.
Wow. That's, I want to see one of those, like, you know, have you guys seen those videos of, like...
Same VAs.
Yeah.
What's the same VA video of that guy, please?
Yeah, like, same VAs. Like, I remember I saw one for, like, a character from Cuphead. He was like this, like, Mugman-looking character. He's doing, like, this adorable Mickey Mouse voice. Then it cuts to the voice actor apparently at one point voicing Reaper from Overwatch. I want to see that for this. Like, Cortana's actress. Vega, who voiced Vega? Because that wasn't just voice clips. That was... Because I don't recognize him.
Youngie, formerly known from Homeland.
Oh, wow. Damn. I don't know why, I'm just trying to think of a funny gag that I could do with that, similar to what I did with Mahito, or with, one...
Lex Luthor and Homelander can technically win a death battle. There you go.
Like, I don't know why, I'm just picturing when Doomslayer shoots Master Chief into hell, you just hear Vega, get the f*** out my planet. Like, okay, and also, you know, we praised the voice acting, but my god, this animation, like, you know, Devil Artemis killed it with Kratos versus Azora, and you know what, I still hold it, that episode's a really good episode, but my god, I don't know what it is, but the fluid movement between these characters, like, it's, to be honest, these characters are really bulky moving characters, and Death Battle's very fast-paced fights, so it's like, right, how do you do these guys justice? Because in the games, they move very bulkily, like, but in the novels and comics, they're meant to move with such ease despite being these hulking giants. And my god, they nailed the movement of these characters. Like, there was never at any point, like, yeah, there's moments the characters are overpowering one another, but just the first opening of the fight, like, they're both feeling like they're fighting on even terms, man. Like, when a brief moment when Master Chief blocks the chainsaw with the brute shot, which I love.
Brute shot?
Yeah, the brute shot. And, you know, it's overpowering him. Then Chief just fires it to freaking ricochet him. It's like, or when like Master Chief freaking shot him in the head of the pistol, and Doomslayer just headbutts him after being headshotted. Like, come on, man, that's just gold.
There was a comment talking about that, about the headbutt thing. Hang on, I want to see if I can find it real quick. Here it is. If I shot someone in the head and they proceeded to headbutt me after taking it, I'm out of there.
You know what? That is the most realistic reaction you can have. Like, oh my god. But yeah, also we had a little Isabel Easter egg with the forklift. I know, is that my first watching?
You got Isabel in the Doomslayer analysis and the fight.
Yeah, I missed that when I was watching the fight, but I thought, okay, you know what? For my reaction, get it, put it in the video so that I don't get a bunch of comments of people pointing it out.
Yeah, I even noticed it as well. I was like, oh, hello, Isabel. So, after Master Chief blew up that forklift, I bet Doomslayer took this fight personally after that. And, oh my god, there's so much I really want to praise about this episode. But my god, we had a brief moment where these two are fighting demons side by side, which was going to be the original concept of their crossover episode.
That's oddly enough my favorite part about this animation.
Which would have been so cool.
It really would have, but Microsoft said no. Why? Like, okay, even if the story was shit, my god, do you know how many views that one episode would have? Just seeing Doomslayer and Master Chief fighting demons together.
Hell, just have it parody that scene from Step Brothers.
I know.
Kill a bunch of demons. What? Did we just become best friends? Yep. You want to slaughter more demons? Yep.
Like, honestly, like, just, like, did they have to edit that into the fight? No. But was it awesome to see? Hell yes, literally. Just little Vega's like, you are surrounded.
And I was about to say, like, just the way Vega goes, you are surrounded. It's just like, well, son of a bitch.
And they're both just fighting the demons. Like, some of the kills were great as well. Like
and they just cover each, in military terms, they cover each other's sixes, as they were both soldiers. Makes sense.
Like, Master Chief shoving a grenade into one of those, like, hovering demons just to hurl him away. Or Doomslayer just, after they killed all the demons, uses the skull of one of the imps just to hit Chief on the head. It's like, oh yeah, we're fighting, aren't we? Oh, Microsoft again. Like, if they do
I didn't even notice the skull until just now, and then Chief just kicks the skull out of his hands.
Well, okay, if they ever do another season of that, what's it called, like Level 1 or something like that, Next Level, that Amazon series? Like, if they do another season of that, which I've heard they plan to do, Microsoft, just give the people this episode. Like, Star Wars have given us finding that Cad Bane and Boba Fett episode. Come on, man, like, even if the episode's only 5 minutes, just give me Master Chief versus Doomslayer. Like, working together, I should say. I've already got Master Chief versus Doomslayer.
Yeah, and I remember talking about this with on the server, like, if there's one shot from the original that they could sneak in here, which wasn't. And they did the shot I wanted, which is just the rocket being thrown back at someone.
Oh my god. Like, definitely, I also just love, like, this is kind of like a minor thing, so I definitely want to get to the next bit that comes afterwards. But when Doomslayer hears Vega dying, and you just see him coldly grab Master Chief's Magnum, just stare outwards, like, because, fun fact, in the reboot game, Doomslayer was tasked to kill the AI just so that they could stop all of, like, the mining process from hell. But Doomslayer actually has a brief moment of hesitating, because the AI was just an innocent AI that was just doing its job. So Doomslayer, like, made a copy of it just to save Vega. And then you just see, like, when you hear Vega die, you just see, like, it's a subtle, like, animation. You see, like, Doomslayer just stare out, realizing he probably lost, like, one of the few friends he could actually probably say. And he's just like, now you made it personal. Like, you know, it also just made me realize, like, god damn, Doomslayer is so much bigger than Master Chief. I never realized that.
I think it's in his like analysis preview. It says that he's like 6'8".
Jesus.
Yeah, Doomslayer is 6'8".
He is a big hulking man. And yeah, Sean already brought it up. My god, when Doomslayer freaking missed the rocket, I thought it was going to be a moment he was going to like pace it, but the fact he freaking sped up to his own rocket, grabbed it, and hurled it at Master Chief, just whoever wrote that in the script, you deserve everything in life. You deserve beauty and love. Oh my god. Like, I bet Devil Armors had the time of his life editing that. Like the dramatic zoom lines, the doom slow-mo shot, and then just the... Like, you can hear the strain as he's reaching for it just to hurl it back. Just, oh my god. Like, I have probably rewatched just that one moment more than the fight itself.
That is so extra. I kind of want to do something similar in written work if possible.
Like, I just don't know how to describe it. That seems just epic. A character moving so fast just to catch his own rocket that he missed his target just to hurl it back.
Like, son of a bitch, I missed that. Give me a second. Let me try again.
But it's also like the thumping of his the boom, boom, boom. Like, just great. And we had the BFG versus the Spartan Laser moment. Just great. And we had a little brief cameo when he fired the Spartan Laser.
Johnny, which one do you got? My money's on the green one. They're both green. Exactly.
Okay, I was so happy to see the Spartan laser get used.
Yes, it never got used in the original, which was sad.
Yeah, not only that, it's one of my favorite weapons in Halo. It's not in Halo Infinite.
No, man.
Which...
I mean, granted, we got plenty of banished weapons that make up for it. But man...
Yeah, but I want my Splazer.
We need the Splazer.
Give me my Splazer!
How's that 10-year stuff for games working out for you? 343? Anyway, also, the thing that sold me on this episode before, like, the kill shot, Master Chief does the pose of my favourite sequel of all time before the final act. Like, yes, I love Halo 2, and the fact that you had the pose of him with the two SMGs was just... That was enough to say this episode's a 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, the thing we worked that in is awesome.
Immediately, it is a little sad when you realize, oh, the last thing Chief is before that is Cortana being like, Chief, still with me? Then immediately not.
Yeah, that... Okay, I will also say, in terms of deaths, like, you know, rematch versus the original, yeah, Jesus Christ, man, like, what was that thing I said in the previous episode? Like, I'm sure Doomslayer will give Chief a respectful end. Nope! That was,
We get the Doom 2016 cover.
Yep. I mean, don't get me wrong, the fact they both did that iconic...
You know what's funny? Well, not funny, but, like, people are saying that this is such a disrespectful death for Chief.
I mean, yes. Was it epic though? Absolutely. And people, this is coming from a big Halo fan, and if I could look at that and be like, that was awesome! But yeah, the death as well, like, Jesus Christ, I loved it. It's over the top brutal, but I also like the fact Chief, after losing both arms, was still trying to fight. Like, what an absolute Chad. Master Chad.
That...
And again, we go from the Halo 2 pose to the Doom 2016 pose. Homages.
So, I'm just gonna admit this. After this fight came out, I was playing some Halo Infinite with a friend of mine. And there's that feature where it's just like an open chat where you can just type in a message that everyone in the game sees. And I just said to him, how much do you reckon people would get triggered if I just type in the phrase rip and tear?
Oh, God. Now, and also, it was after...
I didn't do it, but it was just an idea.
It was a funny idea, you should have committed to it. But, yeah, I guess we should also talk about what we thought about the explanation, unless you guys have any final things you want to bring up about the fight.
this fight was awesome.
I
Yeah.
didn't bring it up earlier about the voice acting, but MVP is Kira Buckland as Cortana. Like, I love her, like, little comments throughout the fight, like the whole, like, who brings a chainsaw to a gunfight?
I know, I
Like,
love that.
When Doomslayer opens fire, it's like, well, isn't he a stew?
Yeah, like, despite having very few dialogues, but given the fact that's pretty accurate between the characters, but they've nailed the personalities.
Yeah. I'm also surprised that they didn't have Wiz, like, I don't know, go into Cortana a little bit more. Like, just in terms of, like, technological, like, achievement, because he loves that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, Danny mentioned it, that is a good point. Though, at the same time, that they did, you know, factor in, like, a lot of what their AIs can do.
I mean, yeah.
Is that what you got to say?
Yeah.
Right, and so when we got to the explanation bit, I feel as though not just us, like I think a lot of people who were kind of saying this fight was a lot more closer. Guys, we need to just stop heaving that copium. Yeah, this fight was a slaughter. Like, because I really, after listening to Proboscis and the Proboscast and stuff like that, I was thinking to myself, you know, maybe people are being a bit too harsh on Master Chief. He's got something like he's probably evenly strong, evenly fast. Nope. Just
I mean, you say that,
like,
wasn't the gap they gave, like, Doomslayer is, like, twice as strong and 8 times as fast?
even then,
Yeah.
like, it was like, okay,
Like,
well,
that's not that big of a gap, like,
It's-
stat-wise.
it's
Also, even in terms of, like, advantages in the slates, more than Giorno got.
I mean, I suppose that is true, but when you really factor in, like, I mean, granted, it made a lot of people have still kind of arguing about that one. This one, like, okay, I know there was that whole thing where it was like, yeah, Master Chief's going to be slaughtered in this. There were some things you could argue for the guy. However, Death Battle also made it clear, like, a lot of his survivability did come into factor because of Forerunner tech as well as Cortana, and there were, like, situational survivabilities, like, oh, he managed to survive this explosion only because Cortana was driving power from the Forerunner tech. I was like, that's a valid point.
Yeah, admittedly, in my reaction, like, I was kind of thinking about that at the time. Like, I feel like there was a bit more context I didn't talk about with that, but I kind of just let it slide.
Yeah, I mean,
And then they brought it back up at the end. Like, oh, alright.
like, I was thinking, okay, well, maybe strength-wise, whatever. I'm sure when it comes to, like, their abilities and weapons, nope, just Doom's arsenal just far outclassed. I will say, in the original game, that, you know, the guns weren't that overpowered. But Doom's...
Nowadays,
Yeah, like... many of them have been...
there's
old...
always
Sorry, go ahead.
there's only one thing. There's only one thing I disagree with though, with this, and it's the Unmaker being better than the Spartan Laser. But that's because I've always assumed that the Unmaker requires demon energy to be fired.
I think it still kind of does. However, it was also confirmed it can still hurt humans. I mean, after all, it is still a laser, after all.
Was that confirmed?
I think him...
'Cause it's possible they changed the way the Unmaker was in the newer Doom games. But I don't know. That's like the only thing I disagreed with. Like,
I mean,
throughout this whole thing.
Given the fact the weapon also can damage
I've
walls...
only just realized that weapon didn't show up in the fight yet again.
I mean, let's be real here, mate. Whenever you think of, like, the most impactful, most powerful gun in Doom, you still think of the
Yeah, it's
BFG.
BFG all the way.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I love that collision between that and the Spartan Laser.
Yeah, it was great. But rest in peace, Ratidus. That's why I named the rat, Ratidus. R.I.P. our boy. He probably lasted longer in hell than any of us would. But yeah, I think, you know, there are many times when I've heard people say, this fight is just not like Shigrai vs Mojito. I do still stand, I will stand on that bridge until the imps overwhelm me as I hold the heads of their demons. Yes, I did want to reference that poster as well. Like, you know, I can stand on that porch saying, like, no, I still say there are a lot of circumstances Mojito can win that fight. This is one of those fights where the only way I can say Master Chief can win is if we don't take into account the newer games. it's yeah.
One of those. Sometimes that happens with Death Battle. Sometimes we'll have a one-sided affair, but it's still kick-ass episode.
Yeah.
Anyone remember Omni-Man versus Homelander?
That is true. But my main point is that, you know what, sometimes we just gotta take the L, stop sniffing the copium and just accept the fact, yeah, this fight's not even. Like, I understand why they did the rematch. One was because the majority of people voted for it. And two, I remember saying, when I was rewatching the last Lads Discuss episode, I don't really fully agree with the fact that, oh, they only did a rematch because now the other person wins. They did Goku vs Superman, and Superman still won that. I think it was good to do this rematch because these two are such iconic FPS shooters that it just makes sense that this would inevitably get a rematch. Because, like, for instance, is anyone I remember I asked for it in the past, but let's be real here. Is anyone really asking for a rematch between Tifa versus Yang? Like, are those, like, Tifa, like, they're popular characters, but are they iconic enough to really warrant a rematch? Like, Master Chief vs Doomslayer, like, yeah, it makes sense. Their games are one of the biggest games of, like, when it comes to first-person shooters, the biggest games of all time. Like, Goku vs Superman, you know, the biggest, like, heroes of the West and the East, so it's like, yeah, it makes sense to, do a rematch between them. So I can understand them doing this rematch, especially due to high demand. Even if it's like, oof, it is very one-sided. And I don't agree with what I said before. I don't think they should just do a rematch if the characters can now win, because at that point, where's the joy of rematches? Like, it should only be preserved for, like, bigger characters. Like, you know, bigger, like, how to word it?
Yeah. Also, the idea of only doing a rematch to, like, have the other character win, it kind of, like, lessens some of the excitement. Like, oh, who's gonna win this time? Because, well, by that logic, it just means, oh, so this person won the original, which means they're losing this one.
Yeah, which, that was kind of my mindset when Link vs. Cloud was coming out, because, you know, I was very stubborn back then. I was like, oh, those characters are gonna win now. And it's like, I was right, but I shouldn't have had that sort of attitude for it. You know, I should have been excited for what they were going to bring to that fight. And in this case, like, yeah, Doomslayer was going to slaughter, but, you know, what they brought to the fight, they made, like, my final say on this episode, they done better justification for the characterization of Doomslayer and Master Chief. They nailed it with the animation. Like, if, you know, again, we referenced that annoying comment that we've seen under our reaction, well, under your guys' reactions, the guy who keeps on going about, like, the Chad versus, like, Virgin, like, matchups and stuff like that. Like, yeah, in terms of fight, this episode is 100 times better. But overall, though, I don't think this makes the other episode obsolete. It just means, like, you know, this is what came out back then, and enjoy a cleaner, smoother, and just a more high quality episode.
Yeah, no, here's how to look at it. Like, back then, it was Chief versus, like, pre-Doomslayer Doom Guy.
Yeah. Even then, the animation was not bad.
Yeah. I mean, it was weird it being in 2D, but it was all they could do at the time.
Yeah. And let's be real here, the death was...
It wasn't...
Sorry, go ahead.
It wasn't bad.
Nah. And I also do agree with Sean, the death is kind of comedic, but also gory at the same time.
I thought it was cool rather than comedic, honestly.
I mean, I just love Doomslayer's face just looking side by side. I love how they use that icon, like, you know, zooming into his mask, showing the icon, and he's like, and as he blows up.
And then gets teabagged, which people argue is the most accurate part of the episode.
Got it. For the original, yeah, I thought you were talking about this one still.
Oh, no, this one was definitely more epic and bloodier. And it'll be the one time we've ever seen blood again in Halo. In a crossover. I'm not even kidding about that. Human blood is very nerfed in later games. I forgot how bloody Combat Evolved used to be. Like, Jesus Christ. You just melee a dead corpse and they're like fountains of blood. It's like, Jesus, I only just hit you at the end of my rifle.
I mean, you still get blood in Halo Reach.
Okay, mate. Compare the blood in Halo Reach to Halo Combat Evolved.
It's also been a while since I've played those games.
Fair enough. just overall, fantastic episode. My favourite episode so far this year. My favourite rematch so far. And just overall, just a fantastic episode.
Yeah, and
really good.
And hopefully the next time will be, you know, something a bit simpler to look into. Oh god damn it.